I keep getting asked questions about Feral Flare, such as, would it make X champion work, or is it better than Lizard on this champion, and so on. There's also that ongoing controversy as to whether the item is weak, strong, or balanced. Honestly, I feel Feral Flare is rather balanced, especially after the nerf it received not long ago, and I mean this patch. Feral Flare is pretty goddamn overrated item, and I don't mean it's like weak or anything. It's a strong item, it's usable, and I don't ignore the idea that champions can snowball out of control with it. I just think it's overrated in the way that people just kind of oversell the thing. They give it too much credit than what it actually deserves. In LCS has been the latest example as to why there's a difference between solo queue and competitive. In competitive, Feral Flare isn't making a much big impact. It's like players aren't investing in it. Players are not gonna non-stop farm because they actually have to contribute. They're getting pushed out and flushed out of the jungle. And honestly, that's how you're supposed to beat Feral Flare. You're not always gonna be allowed to farm. If the enemy team allows you to get a very fast Feral Flare, then either they've crushed your lanes or they've just been sitting around jacking up. So you're kind of just winning because the enemy team is being lazy or dumb. That said, by far the worst thing people have done with Feral Flare is think that it's some sort of unstoppable item and that it has no weaknesses. I just mentioned some of the weaknesses there. Just pushed a person out of their jungle. It's just like, oh, you lose your first 3 towers? Well, now your jungle's unsafe. Now we're going to come after you, or we're going to take Dragon and kill your teammates. So even if you're so mega farmed, your teammates aren't. So you're going to get killed instantly. Remember, most of the junglers who take advantage of Feral Flare tend to be champions that get controlled easily. Master Yi comes out, throw a stun on him, burst him down, he's dead. It just happens to be that you'll be forced to pick champions with crowd control instead of the usual Nidalee and Yasuo and crap. It's your own damn fault if your team loses when you don't have any crowd control and you had the chance to pick it. If you saw it coming, if you saw that Master Yi was first picked and you had no crowd control, it's your own goddamn fault you lose if you take no crowd control. The thing is, players somehow just forgot that spirit items still exist, and that in a lot of cases they're better than the Feral Flare. They're immediately effective. You buy Spirit of the Lizard Elder, you'll get the offensive capabilities of it instantly. You get the defensive abilities of the Spirit Ancient Golem instantly. Yeah, the Feral Flare can become a very powerful item, but you're not always guaranteed to have that power spike. You could be pushed out of your jungle, or you could be forced to help out your teammates a lot, to the point where you can't even evolve the damn item in time for it to be even effective. Evolving Feral Flare 35 minutes in isn't going to make it useful. Evolving it very early will, but maybe you've been forced you were leaving your teammates just to rot, and then you lose because of that. And that's why the item is so toxic in solo queue. Players don't know how to actually balance this. They'll all rush Feral Flare on every goddamn jungle, and a lot of players just abandon their teammates to suffer, and then they come out and then they try to carry or whatever, or the enemy team gets cocky and gives the jungle the advantage, like they tower dive and the jungle shows up in time and gets some kills, and now he's snowballing because he's got Feral Flare and he's ready the Rune King. But anyways, I was saying, it's toxic because some players just have this idea of, I must farm this item as quickly as possible, abandon my teammates, let them lose, even though they don't realize they shouldn't be doing that, even with the Feral Flare build. Anyhow, that's why I think the latest changes to Feral Flare are actually going to be good. Not because they're going to make the item stronger, but they're going to encourage players to actually help the fucking laners when they have the Feral Flare or the Regal's Lantern and stuff. It's like, Riot is basically saying, hey, you guys, you're pretty dumb with this item, so we're going to pretty much change it in the way that it will force you to actually help people when you won't feel so butthurt about it. And yeah, I actually like that. I had no problems with it. You guys all saw the Shen video where I couldn't even max out my Feral Flare because I was too busy helping my teammates and being cool. If you want to read more on the topic, then I suggest you go read the article that's in the description. This video is mostly being used as a springboard to the article, so hit it up. It has more information than I covered here, and it goes more in depth in some of the topics I did talk about as well, and in some I didn't even mention.